Birds for Sports Talk. We weekly cover Ravens and Orioles news. We're your hosts, TJ and Jared. And in this video, we're very excited. We do a couple jokes before we started it, but we're very excited for what this video will be about, which is the pregame of the Ravens versus 49ers game on Christmas Day. You know, a game in which should be the game of the year. It shouldn't be a banger. We expect a lot out of our Ravens, and we expect a lot out of the 49ers. Levi Stadium's going to be packed. I expect a lot of Ravens fans to travel out of there, travel out to there, I will say. Travel out to there and just support the team. And, who knows? Maybe this could be a Super Bowl preview. Although I hope it's the Ravens and the Eagles, but, this could be a Super Bowl preview. So, to kind of get into some early, opinions or thoughts about the game, you know, um, they have a very great team. As we get into the stats, later on in this video, you'll see how dominant their defense is, how efficient their offense is. Our defensive coordinator and offensive coordinators, Mac McDonald and Todd Monken, they definitely have to do their homeworks, because we have a handful on both sides. You're talking about Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, on the offensive end. Even Trent Williams, the best left tackle in the game, the best left tackle in a while in the NFL. And then on defense, I mean, you have arguably, top two linebacker, Fred Warner. You have I believe they have Javon Hargrave, they have Nick Bosa, they have Chase Young now. They have a very, very vicious
Fred
defensive.
Warner.
Huh?
Oh no, Fred Warner's a linebacker, I think.
Yeah, yeah, we said Fred. Yeah, I said Fred Warner. And their safeties are pretty good too. I think they had this guy named Helenoa or something like Telenoa or something like that. I think he might be out for the season now, but still, their defense is pretty good. So, what do you think about this game?
I think that this is one of a gauntlet game if there was one. This is Super Bowl in the regular season. I mean, how could it get any better? Christmas. Monday Night Football. Warm weather in Cali. Hopefully it's not raining. Hopefully it's sunny. So, I mean, how can it get any better than this? Two 11-3 teams leading their conferences, leading their divisions. I mean,
Mhm.
like it's like they knew that was going to happen. Just a perfect setup. And it'd have been nice to go to this game. Imagine going to, Cali, 49ers game. That would have been really nice to go to, but obviously we're all the way over out east. But this game is gonna really tell us a lot of how ready this team is, in my opinion. If we come out and get blown out, then that might be concerning. But, you know, I think we got a shot, and I think we have probably the best shot out of anybody in this league. You know, um, I think the only teams that can take down the 49ers are the Ravens, if I had to be honest. I
Yeah.
don't think that the Cowboys can. I do not think that the Eagles can. I genuinely think that the Ravens can do it. I think if the Chiefs played them, they probably get blown out.
Yeah.
I think if the Bills played them, it might be a little bit closer, but I think they'd win by multiple scores. And honestly, it's very possible we could lose by multiple scores. That's how good this team is. But, you know, I think that everybody gives them their flowers just because the two teams they really played, like the Cowboys and Eagles, they've blown them out. But I really think the Ravens come in prepared in this game. I think that there's a great chance that this could turn out to be a very high scoring game, to be honest. The thing is that I'm concerned about is this game could turn south if our offensive line didn't pack their bags for, Santa Clara. If like they're mentally in Baltimore, then like how they were versus the Jaguars, then we could be in some trouble. But yeah, man, I this is the biggest test we've had this year. I think the other tests we've had is like versus like the Bengals and the Seahawks and the Lions and the Jags last week and all these teams and we really got to come out and play our best football. You know, I think that the thing in the other games that they've played this year, like the 49ers, I'm sorry, like the Cowboys, like the Eagles, they did a lot of self-inflicted wounds, you know, and we know the Ravens love to beat themselves up. But this is kind of has to be a game where you can't have that.
Right.
You can't have these self-inflicted wounds. You have to play to your more than your A game. And, you know, I really think that the Ravens have a shot. to win this game. I genuinely do believe that. And this is definitely, like I said, I've been saying this all week. I've been saying this all video. This is a gauntlet team. This team is a gauntlet, and are we ready for the test? Honestly, like, and I really do think we are. I really do think we are.
Yeah, and I just want to also say, and I kind of alluded to this in the previous video. We got to see our playmakers ball out in this game. We got to see Odell, we got to see Zay, even Likely. Likely has been very, very reliable. He has very nice hands. He has wide receiver skills for a tight end, and he's even built like a wide receiver. Like he kind of looks like Julio Jones right now out there. Just body type. So we got to see a lot of playmakers on the offensive side. It's unfortunate we don't have Keaton Mitchell.
Right.
It just makes me imagine a backfield of Keaton Mitchell and J.K. Dobbins. That's just nasty. But we got to use our playmakers, and we got to
All
get
IR team.
yeah. So hopefully we can see a lot of OBJ and Zay out there and Isaiah Likely.
Mhm. I agree. I definitely agree. So you want me to pull up some of the 49er stats here?
Let's get into it.
All right. Ship screen. Get rid of the ads. All right. So I'm going to read off some stats. Just trying to get situated here. Anyway, so obviously the San Francisco 49ers are 11-3, first in their conference, first in their division. I probably should just flip it, where it's like first in their division, first in their conference, because obviously if they're first in their conference, they're first in their division. But I believe this team's on a 6-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Um, and they really kind of ran through a lot of teams during that stretch. And the statistics really here prove it. San Francisco offense, points per game, 30.4, which is third in the league. Yards per game, 402.6, which is pretty much 403, which is second in the league. I am interested to see who's first. Points per play, 0.512, which is first in the league. Yards per play, 6.8, first in the league. Third down conversion rate, pretty much at 48%, which is ninth or fourth in the league. Fourth down conversion is pretty much 63%, which is fifth in the league. Red zone scoring touchdowns, 68.52, which pretty much is 69%, which is first in the league. Touchdowns per game is 3.8, pretty much 4 touchdowns a game. So that's 28 points right there. Second in the league. Whew. Their defense, they average 16, they opponents points per game, 16.7 they average, God, I can't talk now. I'm nervous. Opponents points per game is 16.7, which is pretty much they allow 17 points per game, which is second. Opponent yards per game, 310.1, which is ninth in the league. Opponents points per play is 0.269, which is second in the league. Opponent yards per play is 5 yards, which is 12th in the league. So I mean, that's really good. Opponent third down percentage is at 40% on the dot, which is 22nd in the league. Um, Opponent fourth down conversion is at 45.45 percent, which is ninth in the league. Opponent red zone scoring touchdowns is 51.52, which is 10th in the league. Opponent touchdowns per game is 1.7, which is second in the league. You want to read out these rush statistics here?
Yes, sir. So, San Francisco's rushing stats for their offense. Rush rate percentage is 49.76, which is second in the league, which is not surprising because they have Christian McCaffrey back there. He's a beast. He's the best running back in the league. So, he's definitely going to be a lot to deal with. I believe he has a touchdown in like every single game this season, something crazy like that. So, he's a monster. They get 4.7 yards per rush, which is fifth in the league. So, like I said, not surprised they got C-Mac back there. 29.5. So basically 30 rushes per game. Really, like again, C-Mac, it really shows you just how much they like to feed him the ball. I mean, maybe we should take some notes from the 49ers, honestly, or we should have when we had Keaton. They get about 140 rushing yards per game, which is insane. Which is number third in the league, which it really makes you, I know we are probably number one, but it really makes you wonder who's number two. And they get about 1.6 rush touchdowns a game, which is second in the league. As for their defense,
Or the
opponent,
Eagles.
yeah, oh yeah, but the Eagles, yep. With the tush push. San Francisco defense, opponent rush play percentage, 33.68%, which is first in the league. Opponent rush yards, 4.3, which is 19th in the league. So they pretty much, they keep their opponents from not, getting a lot of yards on their rushing attempts. They do a good job at that. Opponent rushes per game is 20.9, which is first in the league. So, I notice Lamar ends up, having a lot of our rushing attempts. And so, when it comes to like, just actual running backs, that might be a problem. So hopefully Gus Edwards can sort of have a good game here, and not get stuffed because we're going to need, a running attacker somewhat. Point of rush yards per game, 89.4, which is third in league. That's insane. So they do a good job of stopping the rush, like a very incredible job. A point of rush touchdowns per game, 0.6. So I just want to say, I will say Gus has been, he's really been kind of struggling lately, getting a lot of yards per rush attempt and just getting into a groove in general. I mean, when we had Keaton, he was out there starting for a reason. And so, I just hope that in this game, it could kind of be if I'm gonna, want the Ravens to be like any game that we've had this season, I'm gonna want it to be like the Rams. We were able to still find a passing attack despite our rushing attack not being well in that game. So, you know, but at the same time, you always hope to have a running attack, so the play action can work, other things can work, down the line during the game. So we're really gonna have to emphasize having a good rushing attack this game, or else we're gonna have to improvise.
Yep. So to move on to the passing statistics, San Francisco's offense, they pass play percentage is 50.24, which is 31st in the league. But you obviously could see they're literally balanced, like 50% pretty much across the board. Completion percentage is 69.57, which is second in the league. Yards per pass, 9.4, which is first in the league. Passes per game, 27.9, 32nd in the league. Pass yards per game, 262.6, which is second in the league. Interceptions thrown, 1.79%. Interceptions thrown percentage, by the way, which is sixth in the league. And QB sack percentage is 66.24%, which is 10th in the league. San Francisco's defense, opponent pass play percentage is 66.32, which is 32nd in the league. Opponent completion percentage 66.10 percent, which is 24th in the league. Opponent yards per pass 5.8, which is sixth in the league. Opponent passes per game 38.1, which is 31st in the league. Opponent pass yards per game is 220.6, which is 15th in the league. Opponent interceptions thrown is percentage is 3.56, which is first in the league. And sack percentage 7.54, 7.45%, which is 14th in the league. And I mean that's only 14th, but I mean all these statistics just really just prove a lot. And this team is balanced. This team really knows its strengths and knows how to get the ball down the field. I mean, you see they don't throw it that often, but when they do, I mean, look, what is it, 9.4 yards per pass? I mean, and 27.9 or pretty much only 28 passes per game. That's insane. Like Brock Purdy literally could sit there and just like find the open guy 28 times a game. And it's kind of easy for him. And I'm not taking anything from Purdy, but the playmakers around him definitely help him a lot. And that's kind of what I envision this offense becoming, meaning the Ravens offense, where Lamar just kind of sits there in the pocket with a five-man protection and gets the ball down the field to the open guys. And the 49ers run what I want the Ravens to be eventually, a good balanced run attack, a good balanced pass attack with some great receivers. I want to see the Ravens be something like this in the future, or even in this game right here. I wouldn't mind it in this game. But yeah, I mean, all these statistics just prove one thing of how good the 49ers are. I mean, what is your take on all these statistics here?
I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. They're a very good team. Like I said, I feel like, besides the Ravens, they are the best. They are the 1A, 1B. They're the second best, they're the second best team in the league. Obviously I'm gonna say we're the first, but they're a great team, man. They really are. And what scares me the most, is just how efficient they are. I mean, on defense, on offense, I mean, they move the ball really well. And as you see, they don't throw picks. They don't turn the ball over. It's just a very efficiently ran offense. They feed the ball to McCaffrey. They throw the ball, when they softened up the secondary, and they're just vicious. Very methodical. So that's what I think.
Absolutely. That's absolutely, they're 11-3 for a reason, and I mean they've really put the beat down on some pretty good, Cowboys teams and the Eagles and whatnot. So yeah, just an overall kind of scary team, in my opinion. And these stats are gonna show it here. So we're gonna move on to the individual player stats here. Brock Purdy's played in all 14 games, 268 completions on 384 attempts, 69.8 completions percentage, 3,795 yards, 9.9 yards average yards per throw, um, 271.1 yards per game. His longest is 76 yards. He has 29 touchdowns on 7 interceptions, only been sacked 26 times, and has a 119 quarterback rating.
Mhm.
Um, Christian McCaffrey has played all 14 games, 244 carries, 1,292 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. Longest is 72 yards, 13 touchdowns. He averages 92.3 yards per game. Um, Deebo Samuel also has in the rushing attack as well, one of their star wide receivers, 31 carries for 172 yards, 5.5 average yards per carry. His longest is 23 with 5 touchdowns, averages 14.3 yards per game. Um, and they have other running backs that you probably need to bring up. I don't mean to be rude. But, anyways, the receiving stats, Brandon Ayuk seems to be wide receiver one on this team. 13 games played, 59 receptions on 86 targets, 1,090 yards, 18.5 yards per catch, 6 touchdowns. His longest touchdowns is 76 yards, and he averages 83.8 yards per game. George Kittle, obviously one of the best tight ends in the game. 55 receptions on 76 targets, 865 yards, 15.7 yards per catch, 6 touchdowns. Longest is 66 yards, 61.8 yards per game. Deebo Samuel, 49 receptions on 69 targets, 787 yards, 16.1 yards per catch, 6 touchdowns. His longest touchdown is 54 yards and he averages 65.6 yards per game. Christian McCaffrey, another threat, and it's crazy. They got guys in positions doing non how do I say this stuff that's not common in their position. They got McCaffrey being a receiver, Samuel being a running back, and it's crazy. But anyway, Christian McCaffrey, their running back, has 57 receptions on 68 targets, 509 yards, 8.9 yards per game, yards per catch, I should say. 7 touchdowns. His longest is 41 yards, and averages 36.4 yards per game. So their offense is obviously a unit. There's really no, not much of not many words I can describe this offense as. They're just incredible. They really pour it on teams, and they're scary, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're a scary team. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
feel like a complete unit, and I'm nervous to play them. So, anyways, you can read on the defensive stats here.
Yeah, so I'm just right off their top guys. I'm gonna stop at Javon Hargrave, but starting with superstar linebacker Fred Warner. He's played in 14 games so far, so all games so far this season, I believe. He's got 116 total tackles, 75 of them are solo, 41 assisted. He's got 2.5 sacks. He's got 4 picks, which is insane for a linebacker. He has 63 yards returning on those picks. Second we have Dre Greenlaw, played in 13 games. He has 98 total tackles, 67 of them solo, 31 assists. He has 1.5 sacks, no picks on the season. We have Diamador Lenore. I believe I'm saying that right. He's played in all games so far this season. Has 76 total tackles, 54 solo, 22 assisted. He has 2 interceptions on the season, 49 return yards. We have Shavarius Ward, who's been a very good corner this year. He came from the Chiefs, played in all 14 games so far this season. 60 total tackles, 46 solo, 14 assisted. He's got 4 interceptions this season. So they have a lot of ball hawks in the linebacking core and in the secondary we see so far. Um, you got Isaiah Oliver. He's played in all 14 games so far. He's got 56 total tackles, um, 37 solo, 19 assisted. He has one interception on the season so far. We have Talanoa Hufanga, who I butchered his name completely at the beginning of this video. My apologies, but this is the guy I was referring to. I believe he had a season-ending knee ACL injury, so praise out to him. Come back stronger next season. But he played in 10 games. He had 52 total tackles. He had 39 solo, and he had 13 assisted. He had three interceptions on the year. And then we have Tashawn Gibson Sr. He's played all 14 games, 51 total tackles, 33 assisted, eight no, 51 total tackles, 33 solo, 18 assisted. He has one interception this season. And Nick Bosa, obviously one of the best defensive ends in the NFL. He got that bag this offseason. He's played in all 14 games so far. Has 46 total tackles, 29 solo, 17 assisted. He has six, no, he has 10 sacks. Oh my God, 10 sacks. He's a monster. He's a monster out there. And then lastly, I'll stop at Javon Hargrave. He's played in 13 games, so he's missed one. 40 total tackles, 23 solo, 17 assisted. Doesn't have any sacks. No, he has six sacks. My apology. He has six sacks, no picks. So just, they have some monsters on defense. They have some ball hawks. And not to mention, they also have Chase Young, who, just makes that, defensive line much more scarier. And they have a lot of guys, who've just been their guys have been good since 2019, and they just get better. They just gotten better each year since then. So, you know, like Jared said, I'm nervous too, but I believe we can beat them. It's a very good
Oh, yeah,
team.
for sure, man, for sure. I mean, what other teams have they beaten besides the Cowboys and Eagles? So let's see here. A lot of blowouts here. Um, they also had a battle with Los Angeles, so I mean, I know that's their divisional opponent, but let's see here. They lost. I mean, that little stretch, I think that's when Purdy was hurt,
Yeah.
or had concussion. But look at that, Dallas 42-10. Look at Jacksonville. Um, they battled a little bit with the Buccaneers here. Destruction. You know, I guess you could say they battled here a little bit too, and then kind of destruction again. So, I mean, just the wow. I mean, this team is amazing. This is one of the most well built um teams in my opinion. In the NFL, and to be honest, I mean, if this team doesn't win a Super Bowl, I mean, what 49ers team could? You know, I mean, hopefully we win the Super Bowl. So, but if we don't wind up making the Super Bowl, I mean, I think the favorites are probably. I mean, the favorites are always going to be probably the 49ers, but we're probably the favorite to come out the AFC. You know, um, according to us, and probably like Las Vegas betting, but not people on Speak for Yourself. I mean, they think the Bills are probably come out the AFC. But you know this could easily be a Super Bowl preview, if I had to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
um, like this could like be like kind of a situation, where it's like what is it called? Like the Buccaneers and Chiefs, back in 2020. You know, it could have been a Super Bowl preview um back in 2019 because we were the one seed obviously. So, I mean, now us and the 49ers are back at the top of their game. So, um I don't know, man. I keep giving them all these, like credits and superlatives, but it's just, this is the best team we faced in a while. I mean, when is the last time we faced a team like this before?
I mean, probably like I don't even know, honestly. Maybe like the
Like,
Bengals last year or something like that,
I don't
The
know.
Beng-
I don't know, man. Like, the Bengals defense doesn't compare to the 49ers defense. Like, the complete unit they have and just the amount of weapons that they can deliver, it's just at different moments in time too. Like, you can't, it's not just one guy,
Mhm.
and oh, this is going to be a tough game. But I mean, give me your thoughts on how this game is probably going to play out in your eyes and a final score prediction as well.
So I think this game, I'm not gonna lie, I can imagine us starting out slow in this game. And I can imagine our defense keeping us in this game. Maybe we'll go down like 10 to nothing. I'll say we'll go down anywhere from 6-0 to 10-0. And I feel like at halftime, we're gonna make some adjustments. We're gonna come out. We're gonna put together a couple scoring drives. The game's gonna be 14-10. And so I want to be on the defense. Are you gonna let the Niners surge back, get some momentum back at home? Or are you gonna put your foot down and let the whole league know we are the number one dominant defense? We're the first and they're the second. So this is also a battle of who's the more dominant unit. And we'll figure that out on Monday night, Christmas Day, in that game. And I feel like, you know, I see this game being 23-20.
23-20.
Yeah. You know,
All right.
I just want to
Um,
stop at that 14-10 point because I want to we gotta let the defense figure that out. Are they
hmm.
gonna help us? And obviously I figure some things out too. So I'm gonna just say I'm gonna leave that at that. See, we'll win 23-20.
Right. Well, you know, I think that this game here is probably the most important when it comes to the trenches. I feel like every game I say that the trenches are important, but this week it's got to be like every time they walk into the building on every for practice, it's like trenches, 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 trenches. Like say it 10 times, it's going to be the battle of, which trenches is stronger. And honestly, right now, the 49ers trenches is probably stronger than ours. Better O
Yeah.
line, better defensive front, but we got to play above expectations. We're 5-point underdogs in this game, pretty much, I think. So even Vegas don't have faith in us that much, So uh, let me think here. I don't want to say we're going to lose. I'm going to say we win this game and we win 27-21. 27-21. That's my final score. 27
Overtime?
21. No, we're going to win 27-21. And honestly, our defense might get a game winning stop. So that's kind of the way I see this game going, in my opinion. So hopefully we don't get blown out. Hopefully we do the blowing out. But that's kind of all I gotta say in this video.
Yeah, and yeah, hopefully we can't get the blow. Hopefully we can do them like how we did in the Rams in 2019. But I doubt that. But I think that's all we have for you guys today. We're going to be playing up against a very tough team. Like I said, like we both said, this could be a preview of the Super Bowl. And we're going to have to learn a lot of things in camp, and we're going to learn a lot of things after this game. And especially what type of team we are going up against Super Bowl caliber teams.
Yep.
Um, and so yeah, any last things you want to add?
Mm-mm.
All
Go
right, so that's
Ravens. Oh yeah. I guess I'm gonna leave off with this note here. Um, oh crap! I guess I've been having something in my eye like the whole video. That's not what I had to say, but what I had to say is me and TJ here will be heading to the Ravens and Dolphins game. Um, and that is an early Christmas gift for my mom. So thank you to
thank
my mom for
thank
doing
you.
that. So we're both very excited to head to that game. I'm
Yeah,
hearing flex rumors, so hopefully it's a Sunday night football game. Now that would be exciting. That would add on to a lot of the atmosphere. If we haven't clinched the AFC North yet, by that point, hopefully we clinch it then. No, hopefully we clinch it Monday, which we can. By the way, we should probably bring up the clinching scenarios. The Ravens can clinch the division with a win and a Browns loss. We'll already know our fate by Monday night, because the Browns would have already played on that. I believe that's Sunday, or Saturday. I forgot, but they're playing the Texans this week, and they have lost C.J. Stroud, due to concussion, I believe this week as well. So, anyways, I think that I lost my train of thought a little bit. Oh yeah. Um, we want to wish everybody happy holidays. This video will probably put out before Christmas. And our recap will probably be after Christmas. We want to wish you all I say happy Christmas. We want to wish you all a Merry Christmas here from Birds of Prey Sports Talk.
yeah, yeah. Like we said, we want to wish you guys I know, a very happy holidays, very very a Merry Christmas, and just a good time with your family, and cheer on the Ravens. So that's all we got for you guys today. Make sure to check out our social media, our Twitter, our TikTok, our Instagram. We're grinding on there. Make sure to also check out our second channel, Casual Cinema. We could do an Aquaman review. We might see that movie within the next couple of weeks. So maybe, maybe, unless
Don't
you guys
torture
like
us.
that movie. I'm just playing. You know, make sure you guys check out our second channel, our social media, and we're Birds of Prey, TJ and Jared, and we're out.
We're out.